Hey everybody, Invisiblekatana here doing my live reaction for Supernatural. I want to say it's episode 10, but season 15, potentially episode 10, Hero's Journey. I'm very excited for this. I'm a few weeks behind. Editing, I think it was episode 8, was ridiculous. It took me forever. Like, I was spending so much time getting claims on that video, trying to upload it. And then, like, the last one I put up, I think I did the one edit, and then it went up, and it was no restriction. So that's why I'm so far behind. I thought I was finally going to catch up. I was like, man, I was working on it, and I was like, I'm just going to finish it, and then I could do, like, because I can get through them. But all those claims really screwed me up. So now I'm, like, 2 weeks behind again on episodes. So I'm going to shoot through these episodes, hopefully. I can't shoot through them. I'm watching this one today. I'm probably going to watch the next one tomorrow. But I wanted to, of course, watch them, try to get these out. I'll at least have the reviews up soon. But, yeah, that's what took so long to get these out, because the live reactions, when they get claims, it's just tough. So hopefully this won't have that, and these will be up really, really soon. Hopefully not like super far behind, but we're gonna get into it either way, and hopefully you guys be seeing this before the freaking season ends, or the whole series, I guess. So let's find out what happens in this one. So I don't know how much of this I'll be able to play, because now it's gonna be the show plus the music. But every time I hear this song now, the only thing I think of is this video game called The Evil Within, because it was like the music for the save room location. Every time I hear this song, like this song, oh, I wasn't expecting that. I assumed that they were both werewolves. That's very interesting. It's just like a full-on monster firing. That's super cool. But yeah, this song, now all I can think of is The Evil Within. It's like Moonlight Sonata with Resident Evil. So random video game stuff coming in. And this guy, I don't think is going to make it, which is really interesting, because you think he'd be able to do a little bit more. Because we've seen those little things snap off, but clearly he was getting beat up in the beginning, so. Well, he tried. He gave it his best. That was really interesting. Also, they had glass under the grate for the blood, but then if you think of that in a real world context, it'd be like, why would there be glass under a grate? And it's just a funny thing. Like, it totally makes sense because it's a great shot, but in the real world, it's like, why would they put glass under a grate? And it makes me like, it's funny whenever I see stuff like that in TV. I always think of it like, that's a great shot, but then you think of the practicality, and it's just like, why would that actually be there? Also, I feel like that's the first time we've ever seen the car actually get a ticket before. That's crazy. What is going on with this episode? They're just like stricken with bad luck.
Was that a trip? It's been a parking ticket. Because you always park in front of that fire hydrant? No. I mean, yes. Okay, I park there every time. I never get a ticket. Hey, Garth.
Hey, Dean, it's Garth. I need your help.
Baby, please don't do this. Seriously? Oh, come on!
So, the funny thing about this episode so far is it makes me realize how little real stuff is in TV. Like, people don't get tickets. People don't get sick unless it's like specifically a part of the storyline. And people's cars never break down unless that's specifically the plot of the episode. And it's just really funny seeing all this together. I'm like, I just think through like everything I watch on TV. That doesn't happen. People don't sneeze on TV because it's not, unless it's a part of your lines, you don't sneeze. Like, you don't sneeze on TV because you're ruining the take. And it's just funny. It's weird, but it's just like, it just, when it happens in the show, because it's a part of the plot, it just makes you realize how little real world stuff actually makes it into TV, unless that's the point of the show. Like Seinfeld, you probably see someone get a ticket. Most other shows, that's not really the case. That's funny.
You smell so good.
And we're done.
So long.
It's always good to see Garth.
Yeah, that means this one must be...
Castiel.
Oh man.
Garth, what are we doing?
Why'd they play that theme like bam, like it was suspenseful? Oh well, the dentist, I guess.
Very strong.
Wow.
Mommy, the giant's crying.
This is a really funny episode. I like this one. I feel like I still like Dean in the Ghost Pepper thing more because that was classic Dean, like, whatever, I can handle this. And then, of course, it took him down. Although I didn't expect him to collapse to the ground. I really don't think cayenne pepper is that hot. I would love to see this in color. I feel like it would just make it funnier if it was just normal and you just see it. Like, odds are, considering they're filming, it's just dead silent. It's like when people take the music out of musicals and it's just vocals and they're just singing. I feel like that's what it would be. It would just be Dean dressed up, dancing around, in color, tap dancing, right on top of the map. No, just a random tap dance. That'll be one of those weird ones. Just Dean got some cavities and then he had a tap dancing dream sequence. Interesting episode so far. Without a doubt, definitely hilarious. I knew it was going to be funny just from the promo, Dean getting kicked in the nuts and stuff. And so with them kind of going through seemingly normal paces at the moment, I'm really curious. Like, the thing says I'm already at 21 minutes, which is crazy. I do feel like that actually lasted for a minute before I went to commercial. And it's just like, 21 minutes in, and they've just gone to Garth. They've met Garth and his family, because, they've still got the mission of this whole, fight club, Monster Fight Club, which I feel like they did before. I feel like that's an old thing. This is an interesting episode, because, like, what is happening? They're having a normal day. And it's weird. It's just like, what? Something supernatural is happening to them. But if that's not the case, then it's just one of those weird episodes where it's just like, here's all the stuff you never see on TV. It's a character being sick. It's a character having cavities. It's a character... I mean, he did park in front of a fire hydrant all the time. That does kind of make a lot of sense. So... that's interesting. That one kind of just fits. But everything else is just like, what is happening here? I don't know. But I like this episode. It's really silly. Jack hasn't shown up yet. Whatever. We'll see. I figured that from the promo, but it is what it is. I'll just have to accept it. But I'm liking the episode anyway.
Being a hero sucks. I mean, sure, you'll probably win eventually, but until you do, your life blows. Your parents get gunned down in an alleyway, your home planet gets blown up, you interview this good-looking rich guy and it doesn't go well, so he shows up at the hardware store where you work, and man, it starts to get,
I feel like...
It's from We Love 50 Shades.
Yeah, we do.
felt like that last one wasn't, like, as horrible. The movies were bad. Not that I saw them, but... yeah.
See, a hero never sweats the small stuff. It slows down the story.
So then,
You need to get a colonoscopy. Stat.
Whoa.
Now tell us what happened to you.
Fell down the stairs.
Brett, listen. We don't care that you're a werewolf, but you got attacked by a wraith, which is really weird. Now we're just trying to.
Normally that doesn't get me, but for some reason, it was such a stupid excuse. It's just like his face.
With the furrowed brow and the puppy eyes. Did you see that?
Oh my goodness.
Never actually works for you, does it?
Okay, that's also hilarious. But seriously, I fell down the stairs
Answer the question.
was such a horrific excuse that it's just that I couldn't handle it. That was funny.
Well, I guess we need a grenade launcher. You ever get out and walk? Oh, what was that?
Well, 7 grilled cheese sandwiches. That's what that was. They would never stop using that old picture of Dean. My favorite thing about this whole scene right now is their theme is playing, but it's like a weird, like twangy version of it. Because it's like it's their inspirational family hero moment, trying to beat the odds like they do, but it's not like the normal heroic theme that they have. I was not expecting that, so I'm very curious how this is about to go, because I just assumed it was going to be a crazy moment. They get into this fight, and somehow they end up pulling it off because they're not gonna die, of course. So now I'm very curious, like, what did they do? Because it would have been one thing if they were like hiding, up in the ceiling or something, and it looked like they weren't there. but clearly the doors are actually open. So I'm actually really curious to see how this episode's about to end up playing out. I knew that was weird. I knew something was happening because I'm like, they showed that top down shot, and I was like, I just let it go because I was just like, okay, whatever. And I knew something was up with that shot. That's funny. I could just tell, like, when I saw them show the people come in, I was just like, huh. There was just something. That's really funny. It's a heck of a plan.
C4.
Oh. I figured he wouldn't win. I didn't think it was going to be one hit. Like, just the music playing in the background right now is just like wonky music because it's just just his specific face there. But like just the music in the background is just perfect.
Is my voice that higher?
Such a silly episode. And it literally ended with the pinhole ending. This is such a ridiculous episode. It reminds me of which was kind of the point, because even in the recap they showed like the episode where it was, if I remember correctly, that was like basically the Looney Tunes episode is what I like to call it, when he shot the gun and it came out and said bang, and they're like, you know, making the holes in the ground and stuff like that because it was like the reality warping guy or whatever. And it's just like that. It's just a ridiculous episode, and that specific moment without a doubt was like the silliest part of this whole episode. Like the music was like wonky, silly music, and they're going through this fight, and it's almost in slow motion. Like Sam throwing those punches looked super slow. Like he was throwing them, and the guy's just like, okay. And then of course he's like, you know, go ahead, just give, you know, here's a free shot, and he's just flipping them over and knocking them down and stuff. And it's like, obviously they're, you know, once again they're gonna get out of it, but just watching it play out where it's like it's almost like in slow motion. Like the amount of time that one fight took. We've seen them take on, like, basically a dozen people. And I forgot I freaking have my heater on. I gotta turn that crap off. So, like I was saying, the amount of time we've seen, they've taken on tons of people during that same sort of time frame. The episode that I think most closely resembles this, I would say, has to have been... Yeah, it was probably the Looney Tunes episode. And then in this season, when they were fighting against the demons in hell... and they were just getting destroyed. It was like, that's a funny moment. And that happens where they fight characters who are just, you know, beyond their level at some point. That specific fight was clearly meant to be that way. And this episode takes that to just a whole different level where everything they do is just screwed up. It's not just the fighting. It's just being captured out of nowhere. Like, you know, Dean was vomiting. He gets captured with a grenade launcher. Sam, we don't even see it. He just got caught. He didn't even see that they were walking up on him. And then they have this fight scene that's super drawn out. And they're just getting their butts kicked until Garth is able to, like, cut through most of this guy's head. Which was actually kind of gross, oddly enough. Because, it, like, you see it stop, like, kind of under his eye and stuff. And I was like, that's way grosser than normal. Because typically it's the classic. It just goes, boom, the head's gone. And he went down. And it didn't go straight down either. It went, like, down and kind of curved. Because it was kind of realistic, actually. And he killed the guy. So, crazy situation. It's just a crazy situation. But I love this episode for sure. So, unfortunate that it is definitely a filler episode. But at least it's a really funny one. Like, I really enjoyed this one. So, I'm excited to kind of just play out the last couple of minutes of this. And let's see what else we get. That's a heck of a trip for them. That's interesting. See if it just ends right here, and yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect for this specific episode. That's a great way to end it. That's funny. So definitely a good episode. Man, them in Alaska is interesting. Like it's just funny to think because I'm curious for how this trailer is gonna end up looking. Are they gonna have? Like considering where they are, would they take even if they were close to Alaska, because of everything that involves getting to Alaska, they have to take a plane. They can't just be like, you know what? Baby's going from Kansas to Alaska. That's just not, like, that's ridiculous. I know it's the car. I know it's the car. I know it's baby. But there's just no way. Like, you can't just go to Alaska. They have to teleport. Like, they just have to teleport. So, I'm going to check this out just to see if there's any slight reference to them actually popping up in Alaska. That might not even be in the next episode. It might be, a few episodes down after Cass comes back and they kind of figure out like, all right, this is kind of how things are, then they do the whole Alaska thing. So it might not be in the next one, but I want to check it out just in case, because that's crazy. You just can't drive to Alaska. That's wild. Okay, so they end up stopping at like a luck-based pool hall, which should be interesting. But it seems like they're gonna, try to find their way. They'll probably end up finding luck before they end up going to Alaska, or it'll be one of those kind of offhand things where, Cass isn't in an episode. Oh yeah, Cass took off to Alaska for us because he can literally teleport, and they find out it's an object, and he just left, picked it up, and then he came right back. So that's probably what's gonna end up happening. Maybe, because I feel like I have to mention this. Maybe Jack will be involved in that. Jack and Billy, and they'll get the luck and be like, all right, we all want to kind of take down God because he's going to destroy like the natural order of things, even with people dying. It'll be too many people dying at once, or, things just can't all happen at one time. So maybe they'll help out. Who knows how that's really going to play out, but this is a funny episode for sure. I would have loved it if it was story driven, considering the way the last episode ended, but I knew it wouldn't be just from the trailer. I was like, all right, I was hoping it would at least be half funny, half serious. That's always my hope. But unfortunately, it was just a funny episode. It was cool to see Garth. Once again, we got a guy coming back, a character in general, coming back in the last season of the series. So that was great to see him in there. I don't know why that guy got me when he was like, I fell down the stairs. I honestly can't explain why that made me laugh so hard. It was just like, it was just so ridiculous. Like, it was just too funny to me. It's like, he knew that he crawled out of the water and then passed out again, and he just woke up at home, and then he's like, I fell down the stairs. It was like, your arm is cut open, and your face, just his face was so messed up. I don't know why. Normally that doesn't get me when they do that joke on TV, like, oh, I just fell, or, like, I tripped really bad. It was just like, he was so messed up, and he's like, well, I fell down the stairs, and he was so serious. It wasn't like he had to think about it instantly. Like, what happened? Fell down the stairs. Nothing. And for some reason, that really messed me up. It just really got me. I don't know why. But definitely loved the episode. It was definitely a really funny one. Garth was pretty cool at the end there. They mentioned, like, he definitely had a hero moment. He's walking in disguise. He's just dropping little pockets of C4. He takes out the whole place, except, of course, for, the giant guy at the end, like the final boss. But that was pretty cool. That was definitely a cool moment. And it was nice, they had the great joke, the Dean and Cass thing. I thought that was hilarious. We get to, he has more kids. He's got a nice family. He's got a pretty decent house. He's got one of those houses with like the crazy driveway where you can drive all the way around in a circle. Because when they were leaving out, I didn't mention it during the scene, but I was like, man, his driveway is huge. That's typically like a rich person thing. So I was like, they're doing good. He is a dentist, so that actually makes perfect sense. Like he's got like the perfect job because he's an at-home dentist, and everyone in his community has to come to him. So he's got to be making money. So that makes perfect sense. That's good for him. That's really good for him. But looking forward to the next one. Really enjoyed this one. Excuse me. Coming off of a cold. Definitely liked it, though. Hopefully, once again, the next one will be half funny, half serious. Maybe Jack and Billy will show up. That's all I want, because we're getting... If this was episode 10... this was officially the halfway point, and considering that episode 11 already came out, we're past the halfway mark, because this season is supposed to have 20 episodes. So even though I know that's like, it's still 10 full hours, or 9 hours, since the most recent episode has already come out, but I'm still just like, I just want to see more. It probably doesn't need to be 9 hours worth of Jack and Billy. Of course it doesn't. But I hope that we see a lot more of them. Like, hopefully it's not just like the last 5 episodes. But I don't know. We'll have to just wait and see what happens. Who knows? We don't even know when Chuck is coming back. So a lot of things are really kind of up in the air as far as like what's about to happen with the main storyline. What are Jack and Billy about to do to help stop God, or whatever they're going to do? Because technically, I just assume that's the case because they're kind of, specifically in Jack's case, he's on the hero side of things, but Billy's in her own realm. She's kind of just like, hey, I'm here to do my job. And sometimes God falls in line with that. Sometimes he might not. So we don't really know exactly what's about to happen. Clearly they had to wait until everything went down and they didn't trap God. And then it was time to kind of activate the plan. So that's what kind of makes me think, like they're definitely against him. Because if they were on his side, then they would have just, Billy would have just been a part of stopping Sam and Dean. Like it would have been, I would assume it would be fairly easy for her considering she is Death. but I have to imagine that they're going to be helping to stop Chuck. So we'll see how it all plays out. But definitely a funny episode. Looking forward to the next funny episode. And like I said, I hope that them being at the pool hall is like, or, this magic pool hall or whatever, it's just a part of the episode. And then the other half, even if their side is completely filler, just like this episode, as long as we get some serious stuff in the next one, I would love that. Because, of course, you always want main story content, and no one really wants fillers. But as long as they're good, I'll at least won't feel disappointed by it, because I don't feel disappointed by this as much as I wanted it. I wanted to see more story. Still a really good episode, definitely hilarious, like all the simple stuff that they were going through. Fantastic ending, like I said, like that's just little stuff that you never see in general. In most TV shows, it's always like they're the heroes, those normal things don't happen unless it's specifically like a normal show, where like that's kind of the point, is that they're normal people. The show is literally called Supernatural. They're supposed to just be kind of perfect. They lose people here and there. They die themselves, here and there. But they don't get sick. They don't get parking tickets. They don't have the spark plugs mess up in the car. And they don't have the car stutter at the end of the episode. They get in the car and they drive off, either towards the camera or away from the camera. And that's how the episodes end. That's how it's supposed to be. They don't stutter. And then it's like, what the hell? And then credits. So it was a perfect ending. It was definitely hilarious, but really enjoyed it. Of course, we'd love to know what you guys thought about it, so please put your comments down in the comment section below. And of course, thanks for watching.